Hey, welcome to another video. And in this video, I won't be talking about credit card points or miles, but I actually be talking about something a little different. I want to take a little time to talk about mentorship and finding a mentor. I usually like to do my videos fresh, but on this one, I'm getting ready to go over the definition of what a mentor is. And Merriam-Webster, they define a mentor as someone who teaches or gives help or advice to a less experienced and often younger person. And that's what I kind of want to focus on. You know, I often study individuals and try to figure out how can I be more successful. And last week, during an executive meeting at my job, one of the managers said there was nothing wrong with copying someone that was successful. And I really stepped back and I thought about that. You know, I've pretty much done it all my life. And a lot of people that are successful, they will take the time to study an individual that is successful. Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Rod, and I want to welcome everyone to Points Blank and Travel. And my goal for this channel is to educate people on how to use credit cards, points, and miles to travel domestically and internationally for free or little money out of their pockets. So if this is something that interests you, please subscribe down below, like the video, and try to help the channel grow. You know, I was thinking about it, and as I try to build this channel, you know, I thought about what has made me successful. And one of the things that really stuck out was finding a mentor. You know, I've had several people in my lifetime that have been important in my life and helped me make decisions, you know. And one thing I don't think people realize, you always hear mentor and people want to think about someone they can follow. You know, I'm a personal believer. I've never read this anywhere. I've never seen it in a book, but I do believe that there are two types of mentors. Two types. There are active mentors and there are passive mentors. And what I want to do right now is talk about both. You know, throughout my life, I've had several active mentors. And then as I got older, I started to realize I also had passive mentors. One of the first, it wasn't a person, it was actually people. The first mentors that I believe that come in anyone's life, it may be one person, it may be two people, it may be five people. And that's either your parents or your guardians. So I would have to say that my first experience with mentors had to be my parents. You know, my mom and dad taught my brother and I a lot about life early on. They didn't wait until we got 15 or 18. They started when we were very young. So to me, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, that helped us become successful. Once I got into my early adult life, I joined the Navy, and the first mentor that stood out to me was Philip Reed. You know, he was one of the hardest bosses, supervisors, managers, whatever you want to call it. But in the military, we kind of call it a supervisor or leading petty officer or chief petty officer. And this guy was so hard, but he taught me so much. And to be honest, I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been for his mentorship, his guidance, and his knowledge to help me not only learn how to become a man, but how to become a successful young man and then grow up into a successful man. So I want to take the time to thank Phil for that. I really appreciate it. And every time I see him, I thank him. And or if I talk to him on the phone, not every time, but I thank him quite a bit, you know. Another mentor that I think about, and this is more of a passive mentor. Now, notice I mentioned Phil. I worked with Phil for about 4.5, 5 years on a ship from 97 to close to 2000, 2001. But the next mentor I think about is actually a passive mentor. It's a person I've never met. You know, I read about him, I studied him, I followed him, and I think about it when it comes to my investments, and that's Warren Buffett. I patterned myself after his investment style. I read a lot of books, read a lot of articles, watched videos, and I would probably say right now 80% of my portfolio is based upon not necessarily Warren Buffett's portfolio, but it's based on Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio. So I'd like to look at Warren as a mentor to me, as a passive mentor. I've never met him, and if I get a chance to meet him, boy, I would be so grateful. But again, to me, that's a mentor. Next thing I want to think about, even looking at the travel, you know, I said this video wouldn't be about travel or credit cards or points or miles, but there's a host of passive mentors that I have when it comes to this hobby. You know, when I first started, I started watching Credit Shifu, watching his videos on YouTube and his YouTube channel. Then I moved over to Ask Sebi, watching his YouTube channel. And in my mind, those were mentors to me, and it's paying off because now I'm able to come to you guys and try to create my own channel from the things I've learned. And there are several other people. I also watch David from Travel Explore Click. He has a YouTube channel. I grew into him. David from Wise Flies. He has a YouTube channel. Brian Jung, man, this guy here is amazing. He hasn't, I don't even know if he's been in the game over maybe a year, a little over a year, as far as the YouTube game. 21,000 subscribers, and this guy, he is good, you know. But if I'm not mistaken, he's only 22, but I don't care if he's 12. If I can learn from him, I look at that as a mentor because he's already mastered something that I'm trying to grow into. Also, I look at Ernest from Trip Astute. I've watched several of his videos. He don't really make a lot, but when he do, it's quality, and it is almost to perfection. So these are passive mentors that I have in my life that I still use what they show me and bring to the table. Last but not least, actually not last, I have a couple more people. Going back to the active mentors, my life after the Navy, it was a huge transition, and I'm looking at two people. When I first started off in sales in the automotive industry, Randy Riley, he's a member of the group. He was a mentor to me. He kind of took me on his wing and showed me what sales was all about, showed me how to be successful. We still crack jokes about it. But there's someone, again, a less experienced person, learning from someone that's experienced. You look at those people as mentor. And then as I moved into management, Bob Clark, who was also at my job, he took me under his wing. Another mentor, an active mentor, someone I dealt with every day. And to those two guys, I'm also grateful as well. And last but not least, when I look at life as a whole in general, it's another active mentor. And keep in mind, a mentor doesn't have to necessarily be an older person. It could actually be someone that's younger, but it's not about age. It's about experienced and less experienced. And probably one of the biggest influences in my life, one of the biggest mentors that I have is my younger brother, Tracy Tiller. Oh man, this guy is on point. And I'm not just saying it because he's my brother. You know, if he was a screw up, I'd say that, but always on point, always willing to tell me when I'm wrong, or always willing to tell me when I'm ready to work on, or I need to work on something, not ready to work on something. So I look at him as a mentor. I don't even think I've ever told him this. You know, I didn't want this video to be serious. I actually wanted it to be shorter than what it is. But I would challenge everybody, find a mentor, whether it's an active mentor that you deal with on a day-to-day basis or every other day basis. Find a passive mentor. They may not even know you exist, but always remember, don't be afraid to copy someone that's successful. Hey, again, I hope everybody's getting ready for the weekend. I actually have to work tomorrow, so my weekend will start Saturday evening, probably about 6 p.m. Central. But regardless, I'm going to enjoy life. Whether I'm at work, whether I'm off for the weekend, it doesn't matter. But for those of you who are off, please enjoy your weekend. Hope everybody have a great weekend. And remember, shoot for the moon. And if you don't make it, you'll be amongst the stars. Good night, everyone.